Welcome back to Zuko Builds. This week I'm going to show you how to turn this Baltic birch plywood tabletop into a walnut tabletop. Look at that pretty thing. I still have to do the bottom of it, but I wanted to get that flip for the introduction. This is my first time doing a veneer, but it came out as perfect as you want it to be. Everything is seamless, everything is nice and smooth. But it's my first time, so I'll take you along my process and how I kind of went about doing things, and you can end up with a seamless result as well. I will have a video of the ellipsis shaped tabletop. I don't know if I'm going to add it with this video or if I should just do a separate video on it, but either way, there will be a video on how I got this shape. I'm really happy with it. I think my client's going to love it. So either way, let's hop right into the veneer. Alright guys, I have my veneer laid out on my workbench. I'm going to take my tabletop that I'll be veneering, just lay it on top. I can get pretty close to this end here on these ends, but I want to leave about an inch or an inch and a half on the bottom since I'll be ripping strips to go along the edge. Nothing really has to be too precise. I'm just going to line it up, and of course I want the veneer to be bigger than the tabletop so I can trim away as needed. Then I do want to make sure it's as straight as possible, just in case, well, not just in case, but for when I next use it, I know that I'll have at least a square edge. Clamp that in place. And I'll go ahead and make a mark. I'm not going to cut all the way to the end. I feel like that's just a waste. Or you know what, maybe I will. We'll see. Just going to make a mark in case for whatever reason my straight edge gets out of place. I know where to put it back. Then, just going to grab a box cutter, utility knife, and make a light pass, my first pass, just to kind of score it, and then make several passes until it comes apart freely. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now it's time to add the veneer. I'm using contact cement by Weldwood. You can get this at any big box store. I'll be using a foam roller to apply the contact cement and just a little disposable tray. I'm going to be wearing gloves and have a mask on just because this stuff smells very chemically and I don't want to be breathing it in or get it all over me. So I'm going to start with the edges. And I think I'm gonna do the edges first because if I spill a little bit over onto the tabletop, it's not really gonna matter too much. I'm gonna apply it all over the top anyway. But if I have the top laminated or veneered already and I spill over the top, it's gonna get on the veneer and it won't come off. So I'm gonna do the edges first, get those in place, and then go ahead and do the top. So the way you apply this is you just pour this into your tray. You'll get it on your roller, apply a very generous amount on whatever surface you'll be doing, and you'll also apply it onto the back of the surface that you'll be veneering. In this case, it's the walnut strips for the edges. You apply the contact cement, let that dry for about 20 minutes, and then apply it on. You just have to make contact with each other, whatever sides that have the contact cement. You just have to make contact and it's not gonna go anywhere, so you only have one shot to do it. I'll use this popsicle stick. I'll be using a dowel. Let me fix the camera so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So I'll be using a dowel in between the strip and the edge so that I can make sure everything's lining up properly and slowly apply, like a couple inches at a time. But like I said, once they make contact with each other, they're stuck. so you have one shot to do it. I just have it lifted up right now off the table so that I don't get contact cement all over the table. But once I'm applying this, I'll make sure this is flat so that I can just rest the veneer flat as well and know that the bottom is flush and only have to worry about trimming the top of it. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll try my best to get it all on camera, but yeah, let's go ahead and do it. All right, I have the whole edge banded on now. Next thing you want to do is press the veneer against the edge, and you can use a few different tools. Some people use these J rollers. I like these for the top. You can also have these tools that are made to press the veneer strongly onto whatever surface. These work great as well, but if you don't have either one of these, you can just take a scrap piece of wood, sand or round one of the ends so that you don't damage the veneer, and you'll use it and press it like this. For the edge, the easiest for me, since I have it, is to use this. I'm just gonna hold the workpiece down firmly, and I round it over this bottom end here, and you're just gonna press and slide, pressing very hard, and do that all the way around. I already did this, but forgot to show it on camera, so this is just demonstration. Go ahead and do that all the way around, and you shouldn't see any gaps from the veneer to the table or whatever you're veneering. Now that this is all done, I'm gonna flush trim the excess with my trim router. I have a flush trim bit with the bottom bearing. So the bearing is gonna ride against the tabletop and it'll cut this whole veneer flush. I already have this set, so I'll just go ahead and do it. So I don't know how well you guys can see these areas here, but this is where the contact cement actually spilled on top of the tabletop. So I'm really happy that I started with the edge first, because I'm gonna sand this anyway just to make sure that this is all extremely flush and smooth, so I can just sand this away. Thankfully, contact cement doesn't stick to anything else other than the other piece that has contact cement, so this isn't sticky at all. But I don't want it to be on top of my freshly veneered tabletop, so start with your edges and you'll be a lot happier. I'm gonna go ahead and sand this all down, and then we can do the top. Now it's time to do the tabletop. You can see that I cut the veneer just to a rough shape. That way I don't have so much to trim. And I made it, you know, about a ½ inch wider all around, so I have plenty of wiggle room. But instead of using dowels to separate it, I'll be using just some spacer blocks here. These are 3/4 of an inch, so that should be plenty to bring my workpiece off of the table, or my veneer off of the tabletop. That way when I have the contact cement on, I can place it on top and make sure that I don't see any of the tabletop from the top. And then I can slowly remove each one, pressing it on, making sure that everything fits seamlessly. So I'll go ahead and just time lapse all of this, speed this all up. and we'll touch base once I'm about to press it in. Thankfully, everything went on smoothly. Next, we just have to really press it, and I'll use a couple different methods here. This is the J roller. I think it's the most comfortable, but I heard it's not the most efficient. So let's go ahead and do half of this with this. I think using this or just the scrap block with a rounded end is supposed to be the best way of pressing veneer on. So go ahead and press it nice and firmly. I'm really putting pressure on it. You want to make sure everything is touching and you get a nice tight bond. So I'll go ahead and finish pressing this out, trim the excess, and then we can take a look at what it looks like. Look at this. I sanded everything nice and smooth. Everything looks to be absolutely seamless. Super happy with it. I mean, for my first time, I thought I was gonna struggle. I was kind of nervous, to be honest, but just took my time with it and everything came out nicely. Just to show you the difference, that's what we started with here. It's a nice plywood, it's birch, but this walnut veneer just makes it look so much better. So that's today's build, guys. I'm still gonna do the bottom of this, but I'll go ahead and do that off camera since I pretty much showed you exactly how to do this. Boom, super happy. And there you have it, guys. Super fun for me, at least, because I've never veneered anything. And it's a lot simpler than I thought. It was a little intimidating when I even thought about the idea of doing it, but it came out beautifully. I just put some oil on it. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's a great way to turn a plywood project into something that looks like solid hardwood. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This is still drying, like I said, but I'm really stoked to give it to my client. I'm sure she's gonna be truly amazed with it because I'm very happy with it. But don't be intimidated, guys. Just take your time with it. Do it step by step and just really think about what you're doing each time. And remember that once you touch the two surfaces together, there's really no going back. So you have one shot, but just do it slow and you can do it. So I think I decided I am gonna post the video of the actual tabletop build in the next couple of weeks instead of this whole video. I think this was a lot of information, so we'll leave it at that. But if you liked the video, give me that thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. Follow me on Instagram at ZukoBuilds. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.